Dinonyana dijile mabele simunyanta temahlasela Giola temahlasela Utsweri mulamu watsipi Ushabele haukari uya masimu Wiloleta dinonyana kamulamu watsipi Yolana yo, anaki matata. Yolana yo, anaki matata. Kiolenta temahlasela Utsweri mulamu watsipi Ushebele habukari uya masimu Wiloleta dinonyana kamulamu watsipi Yolana yo, anaki matata. Yolana yo, anaki matata. Dinonyana dijile mabele, simunyanta temahlasela. Dinonyana dijile mabele, simunyanta temahlasela. Yolana yo, anaki matata. Yolana yo, anaki matata. Wiloleta dinonyana kamulamu watsipi. Wiloleta dinonyana kamulamu watsipi.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession.
Yo By virtue of the authority vested in me, I constitute this a congregation of Rhodes University. Will you join me in observing a moment of silence in memory of the late Mama Winnie Matikizela Mandela? Thank you. Please be seated.
The Chancellor, the Honorable Justice Lex Mpati, the Chairperson of the Rhodes University Council, Mr. Vuyo Kahla, and other members of our council, the Chairperson of the Rhodes University Convocation, Professor Emeritus Peter Mtuze, our graduation speaker, Advocate Tembega Ngaitobi, affectionately known as Ubabe Zomteto, the University Public Orator, distinguished Professor Paul Malem, Deputy Vice Chancellors, Deans, Registrar, Heads of Academic and Administrative Divisions, academic and support staff colleagues, President and other members of the Student Representative Council, proud parents, guardians, siblings, and friends of our graduates, honored guests, Bishop Melusi Mpumlwana, ladies and gentlemen, and most of all, our graduates. It is a signal honor and a great privilege for me to welcome you all to the second of 6 graduation ceremonies of 2018 at Rhodes University. Let me extend a very special welcome to the grade 11 and 12 learners, their parents and teachers of our local high schools, Nombulelo and Siga Secondary Schools, Nathaniel Nyaluza, Kutliso Daniels, T.M. Khwetyana, and Mary Waters High Schools, who are joining these proceedings via a live streaming link at sites in Joza and Vergenoeg. As a university, Rhodes exists for the public good, and to this end, wish to celebrate this momentous occasion with a community of which we are part and to which we are inextricably bound. Walking across the stage today, we will be inspired by many first-generation graduates from our Grahamstown community. We know that the journey of each graduate has been a communal effort, hence the communal celebration. We hope that these young Rhodes University graduates will make us all proud by not only inspiring others with their success, but also supporting local learners to reach greater heights. We are grateful to the Government Communication Information System, GCIS, the Department of Education and our divisions of Communications and Advancement, as well as Community Engagement, for making this technological connection possible. We're very proud of being part of the greater Grahamstown community and are committed to making a positive change in this community, not as an act of charity or benevolence, but as a recognition of our common humanity and an acknowledgement of our shared destiny. Our vision is to make Grahamstown a center of educational opportunity for all young people of Grahamstown, from early childhood right across to tertiary education. Graduation ceremonies are a major highlight in our university calendar of events. They afford us a special opportunity to recognize, honor, and celebrate the academic success and achievements of our new graduates. Graduation is a significant milestone which marks one of the most memorable experiences in the life of a young person. It is a culmination of many years of hard work and personal sacrifice, a moment of joy and pride for parents and other family members, a time of celebration, time to reflect on the road traveled, and to look forward to a future filled with great promise. On behalf of our council and the entire Rhodes University community, I offer our warm congratulations to each one of you, our graduates, on your wonderful achievement. Completing a Rhodes University qualification is a particularly demanding undertaking. You and your family are justifiably proud of your remarkable personal accomplishment. Let me extend our deep and heartfelt congratulations to those graduates who are the first in their family to earn a university degree. Having been one myself, I know too well just what a proud and special moment this is for you. This day will remain deeply etched on your memory and will be a source of inspiration for you for the rest of your life. Each one of you, our graduates, has your own unique story to tell about your journey to the glorious achievement we are celebrating this afternoon. For some of you, the journey to this day has been a long and a difficult one. It has been marked by twists and turns, failures and disappointments that threaten to derail your dreams, hopes, and aspirations. Others have had to confront and negotiate struggles of financial hardships that left them uncertain at the beginning of each year as to whether or not they would be able to continue with their studies. The fact that you are here this afternoon is testament to your incredible resilience, perseverance, and resolve to rise above all hurdles that lay on your way. You have pulled through. Well done, and hearty congratulations. Graduates, you will be the first to acknowledge that you would not have made it this far were it not for the unfailing support, loving sacrifices, and constant encouragement of your parents, guardians, siblings, friends, and loved ones. They have walked this journey with you. They have shared your setbacks, disappointments, and anxieties. They have been there to provide advice and to cheer you up and cheer you on at times when you had lost all hope. Their hearts are full of joy and excitement this afternoon. I can only imagine the deep sense of relief they must be feeling now that they don't have to worry about your university fees and other costs incidental to being a university student. Would you kindly give a warm round of applause to all the families and those who supported our students? Thank you. On your behalf, our graduates, I wish to offer profound gratitude and sincere appreciation to your lecturers, tutors, laboratory technicians, computer assistants, support and administrative staff for their guidance, mentoring, support, and encouragement during the demanding times of your studies. We also acknowledge with great gratitude the important role played by our cleaners, cooks, gardeners, janitorial staff, wardening staff, and student leaders in creating a rich and supportive intellectual, social, and physical environment for our students to develop, grow, and succeed in their academic endeavors. The success of our students is their just reward. In our 2018 graduation ceremonies, we will also recognize, honor, and celebrate distinguished individuals whose profound and exceptional contributions to our nation and humankind are worthy of our recognition. Their personal journeys and selfless service and sacrifices serve as an inspiration and as an example worthy of emulation by all of us. These are women and men whose significant achievements in public life and distinction in some field or selfless leadership set them apart from others and are consonant with our own institutional mission, purposes, and values. Our university will be greatly honored to confer honorary degrees to these remarkable people. They are Professor Emeritus Peter Mtuze, Justice Dikgang Moseneke, Ms. Yvonne Chakachaga, Professor Vishnu Padayachi, Mr. Andrew Mlangeni, and Dr. Cindiwe Magona. We are deeply grateful that 4 of the 6 will grace us with their presence at our graduation ceremonies. We have arranged a special ceremony for the other 2, Justice Dikgang Moseneke and Ms. Yvonne Chakachaga, later in the year. In the 6 graduation ceremonies of 2018, a total of 2,492 students will receive their degrees and diplomas. Of these, 1,456, or 56%, are undergraduate bachelor's degrees, and 1,036, or 42%, are postgraduate degrees and diplomas. Of the 1,036 postgraduate students, 229 will be receiving their master's degrees. Of the 2,492 graduates, listen to this, 63% are women. Malbongwe. Malbongwe. Malibongwe igama lamakhosikazi imbokoti ifikile. 16% are international students. This year we have produced 88 PhD graduates. The Faculty of Science has produced 44, up from 38 of 2017. The Faculty of Humanities, 22. The Faculty of Commerce, 6. Faculty of Education, 13. Faculty of Law, 1. And the Faculty of Pharmacy, 2. All faculties have done exceedingly well. A warm congratulations to all our faculty deans, heads of department, and the academic and support staff of our academic departments. These fabulous statistics bear testimony to the standing of our university as a preeminent center of academic excellence. We enjoy the best undergraduate pass and graduation rates of any South African university. We have outstanding postgraduate success rates. We share the first position with another university in research output per academic staff member. Among the African Research Universities Alliance, ARUA, we are ranked as the most efficient research university. Thanks to the excellent efforts of our Community Engagement Office, we are a leading South African university in community engagement and in engaged research. It is our conviction that these metrics serve as the bedrock foundation for the success we witness today amongst our graduates, and our firmly held belief that our graduates are well poised to lead in South Africa and beyond. Let me, for a moment, address myself to our graduates. You have received outstanding higher education from one of the finest universities in the country. With your Rhodes University qualification, you have a great many opportunities ahead of you. Your education has equipped you with knowledge and developed the values to imagine a different and a better future for our society and humankind. Equally important, Your education has given you the skills and abilities to be able to contribute to the realization of a better tomorrow, one that is more just, more humane, more equitable, more compassionate, more inclusive, and more respectful of every citizen. Your graduation this afternoon fills us with great hope, optimism, and confidence that you will place at the service of humankind the knowledge, skills, values, and the attitudes you have gained at Rhodes University, and thereby help us advance our shared objective of creating the society and the world of our dreams. As you cross the stage on this auspicious occasion, your challenge is to hold fast to the belief that you can and will contribute to the remaking of our society and our world. You are more than equal to the challenges that face our society and humankind. With your graduation this afternoon, you join a small, powerful, and privileged segment of our society, a knowledge elite. In the globalized world, membership of this knowledge elite has the potential to bring enormous financial and social rewards. However, it also carries with it special duties, obligations, and responsibilities you cannot and dare not shirk. Always remember, to whom much is given, much is expected. We expect you to use your privileged position as truly educated men and women to advance social justice, substantive equality, and human dignity for all. We expect you to stand up for what is right, just, and fair. And wherever you find yourself, we expect you to exercise leadership, the kind of leadership which, according to Utatu Robert Mangaliso Sobugwe, demands complete subjugation of self, absolute honesty, integrity and uprightness of character, courage and fearlessness, and above all, a consuming love of one's people. We are sending out into the world as liberated, educated, compassionate, and caring people, so that your presence can liberate others. We are sending you out as a force for good. We are sending you out as a voice for the voiceless, as a voice of reason, truth, justice, and hope, in a society and world fraught with frightening levels of anger, intolerance, selfishness, poverty, and inequality. We are sending you out to serve our society and humanity with honor, integrity, compassion, empathy, and humility. We may have not taught you everything you need to know to navigate the challenges and pitfalls of life. Reason and experience tells us we could not have done this even if we tried. However, what your education at this great and distinctive university has given you is the ability to learn and how to think and how to solve problems. As you move on with the next phase of your lives, never cease to appreciate the value of learning, the significance of knowledge, the strength of ideas, the merit of asking questions, the usefulness of theory, the need for reason and evidence, the power of logic, the benefits that come from clear thinking and thoughtful argument. Above all, never forget that one of the most important things we have tried to teach you here is the value of keeping a mind open to views and perspectives that are different to those you may hold initially. Now that you have a qualification from this great university, you are able to make life choices and define what success, happiness, and fulfillment mean for you. The choices that you make will shape and define the person that you will become and the legacy that you will bequeath humankind. Whatever choices you make in life, Never elevate personal ambition or single-minded pursuit of material or financial gain above all else. In particular, never allow the temptation of instant gratification to cloud your good judgment. Whatever the future holds for you, always strive to be the best that you can possibly be. Always strive to live a life of virtue, a life of consequence. Never allow the fear of failure to drive you into the safety and placidity of inaction. President Nelson Mandela taught us that courage is not the absence of fear, but triumph over it. From every failure, draw inspiration and courage to try harder. Never sacrifice your values of personal integrity, fairness, and honesty. Never discount any experience in life, no matter how insignificant it might seem. It shapes you into a person you learn to become. However you choose to define success, fulfillment, or happiness, never forget who you are or where you come from. Never forget those who have supported you and stood by you through all your ups and downs. However you choose to define success, fulfillment, or happiness, never fail to treat others with respect, kindness, and decency. However you choose to define success, fulfillment, or happiness, never fail to pause once in a while to assess what it is that really matters in life and take time to appreciate little things in life. As a graduate of this great university, you join a special community of our alumni, extraordinary women and men who are making remarkable contributions and leading change in many and diverse fields of human endeavor. They are found in our classrooms as educators, in our hospital dispensaries as pharmacists, in our courts as lawyers, magistrates, and judges, in our financial services institutions as accountants and CEOs, in our laboratories as scientists, in our newsrooms as journalists. They are entrepreneurs and they are thought leaders. They are all playing their part to create a better society and a better world. Animated by our motto, Vis Virtus Veritas, inspired by our slogan, where leaders learn, and guided by our values of integrity, respect, social justice, human dignity, human rights, personal excellence, and rational inquiry, they are committed to bequeathing future generations a better society and a better world than the one they inherited from the generation before theirs. We will expect no less from you. We welcome you to this special and ever-growing community, and we invite you to visit the alumni table in the foyer and receive your special graduation gift as a memento of this special occasion. In the years to come, we will follow your growth, development, and success as a professional with keen interest, and we will applaud you for the honor and credit you bring to your alma mater. Today is a special day to cherish and remember. You have earned it. May you look back on this glorious day with great pride and warm memories, and may it serve as an inspiration and a springboard towards better and exciting things in life for you. May the friendships formed at Rhodes and rooted in the shared experiences and memories sustain you and last you a lifetime. We wish you much strength. We wish you much courage. We wish you happiness. We wish you fulfillment. And above all, we wish you discernment. To all of you, our graduates, Mazel Tov. Asante sana, enkosi gyalibucha, nyabonga, gyalibua, ndolibua, nyathokoza, obrigado, inkom, shukran, merci beaucoup, Baie dankie, thank you very much.
Chancellor. Our graduation speaker this afternoon is Advocate Tembeka Ngugai-Tobi, known as already indicated by the Vice Chancellor in social media circles as Babes Womthetho. Advocate Tembeka Ngugai-Tobi is an Eastern Cape-born published labor law author with more than 14 years' experience in the law fraternity and who spent time as an acting judge in the labor court. Advocate Ngugai-Tobi first aspired to become a lawyer because it was something that his father longed to do. At the time of his death, Advocate Ngugai-Tobi's father had been studying law through the University of South Africa, UNISA, as it was the only university at the time that could accept black people. As top student in his matric year, Advocate Ngugai-Tobi was afforded the opportunity to study law at the University of Transkei, where he enrolled for undergraduate LLB studies. He then went on to Rhodes University, where he did his LLM. While in Grahamstown, Advocate Ngugai-Tobi became the most junior member of the Legal Resources Center, LRC, and when the groundbreaking social grants class action suit was pursued in the matter of Nguza versus MEC for Welfare, which went all the way to the Supreme Court of Appeal, he helped the LRC to win that case. Advocate Ngugai-Tobi spent a year as a researcher to former Chief Justice Arthur Chaskalson. Following his stint with Chief Justice Chaskalson, Advocate Ngugai-Tobi joined law firm Bowman Gilfillan and rose to the level of partner before he left to join the Johannesburg Bar. More recently, he was involved in filing the papers for the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, in the Constitutional Court that forced former President Jacob Zuma to implement the Public Protector's recommendations on Nkandla. He was also instrumental as one of the 3 Eastern Cape-born advocates who are among the team of top legal minds in successfully convincing a bench of judges to order the release of the Public Protector's highly anticipated state capture report, which contained details of how Minister Des van Rooyen and former ExCom Chief Executive Brian Molefe frequented the Saxonwold home of the Gupta family. Advocate Ngugai-Tobi holds the following qualifications: LLB UNITRA, LLM Rhodes, LLM London School of Economics and Political Science. Earlier this year, Advocate Ngugai-Tobi's book, The Land is Ours, Black Lawyers and the Birth of Constitutionalism in South Africa, was published by Penguin Random House, South Africa. The book tells the story of South Africa's first black lawyers and the birth of constitutionalism. It details the ideas, careers, and lives of Henry Sylvester Williams, Alfred Mangena, Richard Msimang, Pixlika Isaga Seme, Ngubu Poswayo, and George Monziwa, who were all members of the ANC. It gives me great pleasure to invite Advocate Ngugai-Tobi to deliver this afternoon's graduation address.
Mr. Chancellor, I've seen how it's done. So I'll also put my hand up. And Chairperson of Council and Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. Mabizela. It is indeed a great personal privilege and personal honor for me that I've been invited to speak this afternoon at this wonderful university. I must say I do have some recollection of being a student here in the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't actually remember doing any studying. But eventually I passed after several years of hanging around. So that's my first and last experience of Rhodes University under a fellow called Clive Plaskett. So it is so, and my CV has been read to everybody. It is so that I am an advocate, and it is so that I have done the things that have been mentioned. But I want to talk to you this afternoon, not so much as a lawyer, not even as an author, but I want to talk to you as one of you. I want to talk to you not even as a former student of Rhodes University, but I want to talk as a son of the soil, as a child of the Eastern Cape, as a product of the struggles of the people of the Eastern Cape, and as an embodiment of the struggles from this province. In a sense, as both a product and embodiment of the struggle against colonialism and the struggle against apartheid. I come and talk to you as someone who has seen what it means to be poor, what it means to struggle, what it means to go home and have no food to eat after school. But also as someone who knows what it means to overcome, to resist, to be resilient. But I'm not the only one. Many of us are. But I want to talk to you because of the special privilege that today we are all being conferred, the special privilege of being a graduate of Rhodes University. I have many personal stories, not of my time at Rhodes, but of my time post-Rhodes University. When I applied for a job at Bowman Gilfillan, I think they will deny it now. Somebody said, "We took you because of that Rhodes qualification." that UNITRA qualification didn't count. So it is a special privilege to have the certificate Rhodes University. Of course, Rhodes himself has acquired a rather notorious reputation recently. I'm not sure if he ever actually had a better reputation. But at least now in popular circles, Rhodes himself is not someone that most of us like to associate with, which is why my friend Eusebius Makaiser refers to this university as the university currently known as Rhodes University. But in my time at the Legal Resources Center, I encountered some remarkable men and women, some of those who grew up cloistered in a white, male, privileged upbringing. But it was not their upbringing or their circumstance that defined who they were. I experienced from them that it is not only me who had things to overcome, who had an underprivileged background to overcome. I also realized that white men, white women who grew up in privileged circumstances also had to overcome something. They had to overcome white privilege. They had to do what Robert Sobukwe once said 1 April 1959 when he inaugurated the Pan-Africanist Conference. Come and sit with us under the tree. It is an African tree. But you will be one of the leaves, one of the branches, but you will be one of us. In my time at the Legal Resources Center, I saw what it meant to come and sit under the African tree. And not only to sit under the African tree, but to be one of the leaves, one of the branches, to be one of us. So I saw people who could empathize, who could feel for the other, who could transcend their own upbringing. So today you have a special privilege of being university graduates. The statistics in this country show quite clearly that an overwhelming number of black South Africans do not only have no matric, they also have very poor literacy skills, poor counting abilities, poor reading abilities, poor writing abilities. So today we are all especially privileged that we have this qualification of Rhodes University. But I come not so much as an ex-student, and as I said, as one of you, as a son of the soil, as the grandchild of Nongqawuse, But I also come as an elder brother. I'm a little bit older than many of the graduates. But I come as a brother nevertheless. And I come with no answers, but only a few observations, some questions, some experiences. What should we make of our troubled times? What should we make of the exciting times ahead of us? What should we make out of the fragments of our fragmented histories? How should we build a better world? There are no answers to these questions. Certainly not any answers that I have come across. So I want to talk about my own experiences, about my own views, to initiate a larger conversation, what to make of our troubled times, what to make of the fragments of our fragmented histories. But today is a beautiful day, and let no one tell you otherwise. They may preach to you, but the fact of the matter is that today is a day of celebration. So it is a day to mark individual achievement. So each and every one of us here, at least those who are graduating, will walk away with a degree of some sort. Some will be qualifying for the first time, others for the second time, others for the third, and I hear in law there's only one who's getting a PhD. So I don't know what's going on there. But nevertheless, the qualification, no, lawyers don't really need PhDs, okay? We can do without that thing. So look at the chairperson of council. Look at the chancellor. They have no PhDs. And look at me. But those who are walking away with degrees are, of course, different people from today onwards. They are graduates. As my grandmother used to say, umona phansi, udanile usathana namhlanje. So sitsho ke, sithi untshu, usathana udanile namhlanje. Untshu. Okay. Ayithanda kuba masikikizela. Asinawuthi siseMpuma Koloni kungakikizelwa. Bengathi semncwabeni. But my grandmother did ask me the other question. Uza kulenzani elicwecwe lakho? What are you going to do with that piece of paper? This is a remarkable question which has stayed with me throughout. Because out of that question, I recognized that actually my certificate was just a piece of paper and no more. But it is a university qualification, nevertheless. It will transform one's individual life. So today somebody moves from student to graduate, from undergraduate to postgraduate, from student, some of you have already become employees. So in a linear sense, we are all making personal progress. And this is the point that Nelson Mandela makes when he says, education is the great engine of personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become a head of a mine, that a child of a farm worker can become a president of a great nation. It is what we make of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another. So over the years, I have also been a beneficiary of education, and I've been a beneficiary of sometimes not so good education, but education nevertheless. And what to make of it? First and foremost, it's the obligation to the self. Every graduate has an obligation primarily to themselves. There is an obligation to take pride in one's personal achievement, pride in one's ability, pride in the fact that you have ensured that whatever external obstacles do not constrain one's progress, the idea of overcoming disadvantage, the idea of letting one's individual star to shine, the idea that says, I too can achieve. And this is not a liberal point. This is Steve Biko's point. It does not matter, and this is Steve Biko's point, what your station in life is. Your status does not define you. It is how you carry yourself that defines you. So let no one say anything different. This is a moment of immense personal pride to each and everyone who is graduating. Yes, in that sense, we are all agents of self-fulfillment, self-development. But we are South Africans. And we are in Africa, and we are Africans. Umtu, ngumtu, ngabantu. And so, none of this personal achievement would have been possible without family. So we might have obligations going beyond the self, beyond the self-congratulation, beyond the praise in our ability to transcend disadvantage. And those may be obligations to family at a secondary level. You may have obligations to your mother, to your father, to your grandmother, to your uncle, sometimes to your brother, sometimes to your sister. My own mother did not have university education. You've already heard that my father also didn't, but at least he was trying. But many of you come precisely from that background, where your own parents had no university background. But it was through their personal sacrifice that we are all able to have university qualification. And that personal sacrifice was driven by the idea that they want to leave behind them a world different from the world that they inhabited, the world that they inherited. And yet the paradox is that it is that very education that separates us from them. We are educated, they are not. We are better, they are not. We are different, they are uneducated. It will separate us physically. We will have to look for jobs in far-flung cities, far-flung areas. But it will physically separate us from our parents. My own education separated me from my parents. I had to go to Johannesburg. But it had also separated me from my father. My father was, for a long time, a mine worker in Johannesburg. And he was unable to come and visit us as young children. My only recollection of him is probably only once or twice. So many of you will have the same experiences of the separation, the splitting from your family, the splitting from yourself. But at the same time, you will be bound inextricably to the land of your birth, where you will have to return over and over again. And we in the middle classes today complain, it's become fashionable, about what we call the black tax. You ever heard about the black tax? It's real. But it is precisely because of circumstance that we find ourselves having obligations going beyond the self, to supporting the family, to supporting our brothers, to supporting our uncles, nephews. It goes on and on and on. So those of you who will be qualifying, I want to warn you in advance, black tax is a thing. But it is your duty, and it is my duty, and it is our duty, that in each and every family, we must break the cycle of poverty. Poverty replicates itself. I looked at the statistics when I was preparing this talk. If your parents are uneducated, you are most likely to be uneducated. If your parents are poor, you are most likely to be born into poverty and in turn to be poor yourself. What is the difference? The difference I want to suggest to you is individual agency. And I want to come back to the point. It is your job to break the cycle of poverty at your family. So, before you complain about black tax and what this might mean for you, perhaps you should start by doing what humanity demands. Today, every person who is graduating should start by thanking everybody in their family that contributed to making themselves where they are today. Uthi nje enkosi. No more than that. You will recognize how significant that act of humanity, ukubulela nje kuphela. Because it is that act that makes us who we are, that makes us human. It is that act that separates us from machines. It is that act that shows that education is worthless unless it is grounded in the struggles of family, in the struggles of the individuals, in the struggles of society. Immanuel Kant, if you ever heard of him, those who studied philosophy, I know he was a racist philosopher, whatever. But that's not what I'm going to quote him about. He said something about education. How then is perfection to be sought? Wherein lies our hope? In education and in nothing else. This is a vital point. The hope of family lies in education. But in a practical sense, the hope of family lies in the educated. W. Du Bois, ever heard of him? Great scholar from Harvard University in the 1900s, banished from his country of birth in America under the laws of McCarthyism, ultimately died in Ghana, makes the seminal point. We are the talented 10th as the educated Africans and as the educated Negroes of America. Being the talented 10th imposes on us special obligations to lift as we rise, and never to lift and never to rise without lifting. This is the point Immanuel Kant makes. Wherein lies our hope? In education and in nothing else. So the hope of the nation lies in the educated few. Kofi Annan makes the same point. Education is a human right with immense power to transform. On its foundation rests the cornerstones of freedom, democracy, and sustainable human development. And the last point about human development is the point I want to talk about briefly. So we now know that these university qualifications that we have obtained might give certain obligations to the self, obligations to the family, but now obligations to society as a whole. What we know about our society is that it is imperfect, but this is imperfection designed by man. It is the imperfection of conquest, subjugation. It is the imperfection of national party rule, apartheid, the establishment of Bantustans. But it is also an imperfection that has transcended to family life, broken mother and father,